Good morning, students. Welcome to your class for economics statistics. Today we are going to discuss Unit 2 in your books, collection and organization of data. So, we will move through this slide and we will try to understand the different concepts related to your chapter. So, what is actually why do we collect the data? First of all, let's see the basic idea why there is a need that we have to collect data. We actually conduct a statistical inquiry or study. Inquiry is any kind of search which is conducted, and here we are conducting a statistical inquiry which is possible if we have some quantitative information which is given to us, okay, in the form of numbers, numerals. If the information is like income of family, weight of students, marks of students, these all information is in numbers. So what we can do, we can use statistical methods, okay. We can conduct a statistical inquiry, which is also known as investigation, and we can use this method as an investigator to conduct a particular study, okay. So there comes the question that we need to collect data, okay. We are dealing with numbers, we need to collect data, and there comes the topic of primary and secondary sources of data. So moving on with the slide, to understand this concept we need to collect the data. First of all, factors which are considered when data is collected, then what are the different sources, what are the primary data and its methods for collection, then what were the traditional methods, what are the new methods of collection of data, and what are questionnaires, what are the secondary sources. These are the different topics, difference between primary, secondary sources, and selection of appropriate data collection, and this is all we need to understand under this topic. Why do we need to collect the data? Okay, to get the information for an analysis or a study, to get idea about the situation. If we are talking about diseases, we talk about social problems, how do we judge that what is the situation right now? So we need data for comparison between two situations, two different time periods. Also we need data. Now what are the factors considered before the collection of data? We think about, we try to understand what is the objective of our study, from where we need to collect the information, and what are the parameters which are need to be calculated, data which need to be collected, how we will collect, what are the techniques required. These are all the things that we understand, try to understand before we go into the collection of data. So this particular flowchart is very important to understand. It's in your books also. Sources of data is internal and external also. Okay, what are external sources? Primary and secondary. So let's discuss the internal sources of data. Some organizations which are publishing their own informations, their own internal functions, they carry on the entire processes, and whatever data they have, that is their internal source, okay. Like an organization is there, if it is if we go towards any company, they have the information, what are their sales, what are their production, what is their salary they are giving, what are their profits, what are the dividends of the company. This is all the information that they have. So this is their internal data. Now here the example given is railway, educational institutes and social welfare societies. So these are government departments. Actually, whatever government department is there, they also generate large amount of data. They prepare their financial reports, other reports, publish the data as well. Not only railways, any other government organization is there, it is operating, it will have an internal information. Then moving towards the external sources of data, as these are the information which is collected from the outside agencies. Okay, so they can collect either the data through the primary sources or the secondary sources. So they can use what they can use to collect this information. They can use many methods. If they want to collect the primary information, they want to collect the primary data, they can undergo sample and sensex techniques of conducting the particular investigations. So let's moving on to the primary data. Primary data, if you talk about, it is the first hand information, you can call it. Okay, so what is a first hand information? Why it is called in this way? Because it is collected by the investigator or researcher himself. Okay, he will collect the data himself, and the process he will select how he will collect the data, he will himself decide, and he will use that data in his research. So first hand information is the primary data. So if you say I am an investigator, for example, and I want to know the wages of a company, I have an option. I can go and inquire from them. I can actually also collect the primary data. I can collect the first hand information also. How? I will talk to each employee of the company, what is your salary? Okay, so this way I am taking the first hand information. I am talking to the individuals and I am collecting the information myself. So this will be called the primary data, or the information which is collected by the investigator himself. Now let's see what are the different methods which are used by the investigator. Focus group. So here the different respondents, they are being used to collect the information. Observation, how the respondents are behaving. Who are the respondents and enumerators? Those who give the information. In a particular research, if I am collecting the data about the salaries of a company from the people working in that company, then those people, they are the ones who are giving me information. They are my respondents. So observation, actually they observe the respondents. Experiments are also conducted, non-personal surveys like on telephone, on mail, on computer, on social networking websites. Personal interview is one-to-one interview with the respondent. Official record, internal documents, survey research, that is also the different. Out of the different sources, it is also the primary data. So let's take up in detail what is a direct personal interview. So if you see in the picture, there is a person who is a respondent, as you can see, and the one who is investigator, he is with a pen and a paper writing it down. So he is collecting the information personally, okay, direct personal interview, investigation also. So here if you see, he will collect the information which is required for his research, and investigator needs to be very polite, and he needs to be unbiased, and he should be aware about the uh, way to collect the information, how to get the information from the particular respondent. So he should know the actual background also of the person, of the study is conducted, and he should be able to get the information. Now indirect oral investigation. Now here what is done, the investigator is not collecting the information directly, he is using some other people through whom he can collect the information. This method is known as indirect oral investigation by using enumerators. Investigation through local reporters or questionnaires. Now here enumerators are not appointed. Enumerators, we know, when an investigator uses some other people to collect the information. Here what is being done, local agents or correspondents are requested to collect the information according to their own methods. They are being told to collect the information about a particular study. Now the last method, the fourth method, is through mailed questionnaire. It is very easy, very less time consuming, and it is also being used a lot by the advertisement agencies, companies, to actually know the demand of the consumer and other aspects. So what happens, the questionnaire is mailed, okay, to the particular person or respondent, and he can fill the questionnaire and send it back. So this is the very easy method of collecting the primary data. Now through observation, what is done, this was also discussed. Participant, non-participant, disguised observation, controlled observation, uncontrolled observation. These are the different types in which the behavior of the respondent is studied. These methods are actually used in behavioral science. Now we are moving towards the traditional data collection methods. So what was done previously, in the previous years, the questionnaires were mailed, they were sent to the particular respondents so that they can fill it and they can give their responses. Then there is also telephonic interview. Questions can be asked on telephone. Then the last one is sending the interviewers to the respondents' home or office. Okay, they are being sent, people go there and they can ask. FTF interviews are taken place, face to face interviews are taken place. These were the traditional methods that were used. Now what is being done? Email is being done. As compared to telephonic, now computer assisted interview is there. Face to face, instead of that, people are also doing video, audio, textual interviews. That is being also done. So we see over time there has been a change in the way the information is being collected. So this is also there. What are the important ways in which the questionnaire need to be prepared or drafted? Okay. So what are the different ways? Plan a user friendly format. Format should be not very complex. It should be easy to understand. Then the information about the respondent should also be taken, if the age and gender and other necessary information. It should not be ambiguous. Ambiguous means it should not be confusing. It should be crystal clear. The questions should not be confusing. If the respondent is confused, he will not be able to give the correct answers to the questions of the investigator. So, easy to tabulate means after getting the responses, it should be easy to actually calculate the result. Try to get the information, whatever information is required, it should be covered in the questionnaire. Pilot test the instrument. Pilot surveys, what are these surveys? What do? We carry on a survey on a very small scale, first of all, to get the information whether our questionnaire is perfect, is there any need of any changes in the questions, because when we are conducting a small scale survey, we are able to improve our questionnaire. Our study is very important in this aspect. Either getting the entire thing done, either getting the survey done and then coming across problems in the questionnaire, it will be very difficult. So this is done, pilot survey is done to test a questionnaire, to see how effectively people are able to respondents are able to give their response. Non-sensitive questions about behavior provide memory help. Now, please look carefully at the following list of voluntary organization, which if any do you belong to. So the way to ask the question, if you see, we are trying to get a sensitive information, but the question is not sensitive. If you ask to which voluntary organization do you belong, it becomes targeting. But here it is being asked in a way so that person can be able to give the response. Next, are you married, divorced, widowed? These are the ways to answer a question. Now, asking a question. Now, if you ask, are you married or single? It's very abrupt. It may hurt a person's feeling. Never married is something very easy to give a response to. It will not directly hit a respondent. So, we need to pay attention towards our wording also. So, what do we actually understood from this? We understood the importance of questionnaire. It should be simple, it should be clear, and in a way it should be personal questions should be avoided, and we should also ask rather MCQs because they are easy to answer, or alternative should be given yes or no. We should also avoid having any confusion. Simple to calculate the particular result, and in all we should avoid direct and those questions which can hurt the feeling of people. Apart from this, we need to also, if we provide a cover letter, okay, if we provide a cover letter, if we are conducting research and we are using a questionnaire, then it's very important that we should also give a cover letter to the respondent that we are conducting a particular research on this particular topic and we would like to have your help. Something like this, it should be their cover letter, giving an idea to the respondent about the uh, investigator and about his aim and objective of the inquiry. Next is secondary data. So these are the data we already talk about. We collect the data from some other published source. We use the data which is already collected by others, like in journals, periodicals, dailies, research publications, official records. There are so much data. We can use that data in our study. And it can be published or unpublished data. And it is very easy to use this information. It is rather easy then to collect the primary data. If the data is not there, then we need to go towards the primary data collection. This data has already been collected and is already been there, so it is very easy to get the information and it is not at all time consuming also. So the different ways to get the secondary data is from the published sources, like UNO publishes journals, periodicals. We can get data about different nations, and then government also publishes data which we can use. Some municipal corporations, they also publish data about birth rate, death rate, literacy rate, which we can use if we need in our study. Then commercials, research, educational institutions, unions, organizations, they also publish data. The unpublished data, it can be certain inquiries are conducted in which the data has been collected and these findings are not published. They are with a particular individual. We can also use that unpublished data. So if we see the difference between, so what is a primary data source and secondary data source? If we have, right now we have just seen primary data is what a particular researcher is using his first hand information, and what is the secondary data, what is the secondary data and primary data came from the external sources. So internal is the organization publishes information, and then what is the external source, which outside organizations, they are agencies which are publishing the information. So primary is the first hand information, and what is the secondary is the published or unpublished data. So various examples are given here. So that was the topic. We were able to understand few important things about data. We were able to understand what is different sources of data. We are able to understand about the questionnaire, how it is framed, and in this way this completes our today's topic. Thank you, class.